This is The Roadmap with Ted Jenkins.
Hey everybody, this is The Roadmap, and I'm Ted Jenkins right here on the Atlanta Small Business Network. Every week we bring you founders and CEOs and owners, and we talk about this idea of how to climb the ladder, how to scale your business, and ultimately, how do you exit stage left one day and be able to sell your business? I'm really excited today to be here with a friend of mine and a guest today, Hanna. He's the CEO and co-founder of Evva Health. So Carl, thanks for coming on the program today.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Right, so excited. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah,
right?
so let's dive into this in here and how you came up with this idea for Evva Wealth, because I know that you've got some family history and you had some personal interest in this area of dementia. It's growing so big today across America. So what's the concept behind here for Evva Health?
Well, so Evva Health is a combination of my professional experience as a consultant and also a personal experience as a family caregiver.
Yeah.
Right? So I've been 15 years. I've been in the healthcare space, both as a consultant, management consultant, working with hospitals, hospital systems, and also as a caregiver,
right.
as I mentioned, right, for my family. Right. So
what was that, Carl? Like you have some family background. Sorry for your loss, in terms of your personal family. But is that really what energized you? Because entrepreneurs have passion. Is that the passion that created Evva Health?
Exactly, Ted. So that's the passion behind it, right? So losing my dad, last year, my uncle, my aunt, within a span of 4 months, really, change is the catalyst behind Evva Health. Right, and for Evva, as you mentioned, as you asked before, it's around how do you use AI, use artificial intelligence to understand what the needs profile of the family is and bring about the right information and the right services to that family.
And so is that what the concept is behind this? Is that you're using artificial intelligence to help families give better patient care as a caregiver for their parents? Is that how this works? Because dementia is growing like crazy, unfortunately, across our country.
Yeah, I mean, the statistics are very alarming, right? And so when you think about dementia, in the next 8 years now, the population will increase by 50%, right? So, Evva Health, it's around supporting those families, using the latest technologies, right, to enhance that care experience, that care journey that can be between 8 to 10 years.
Carl, I know that you're originally from Haiti. Is it much worse in other countries in terms of the care and what they can get from a technology perspective than it is here in the United States?
Well, definitely. Haiti is one of the poorest countries, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, right? So yes, my sister is a doctor in Haiti, right? And using whatever she can, right, to provide the best care that she can in those circumstances. So definitely. But when you're looking at the U.S., though, you have areas which are very challenging to care for.
So let's get into the juicy stuff in here. You start this company, and there are a lot of entrepreneurs that will be watching this program and saying, should I just raise money in terms of raising capital? But you went first in this area of crowdfunding. Like, how did you set that up? How does it work for somebody who's saying, yeah, I'd like to crowdfund my idea to raise money to start my technology company?
Yes, so I think it's a new opportunity for a lot of entrepreneurs now that's available, right? Before you had to go to find the big checks, right? Now, right, you can engage the communities that you're trying to serve. And the idea of us going crowdfunding is really engaging from the very beginning the communities, right? The families that are caring for. And we have quite a bit of them, over 100 who came in, are still caregivers and want to be part of the solution. Right, so we're not only looking them as investors, but also as owners and guides for us as we're managing that space, which can be very complex.
What's the perspective, Carl, about how much money someone can realistically raise on a crowdfund? I mean, I think I've seen Shark Tank a million times, and I see that is it as low as you could raise $25,000 or $50,000, or can you literally raise multi-million dollars by crowdfunding? And do you recommend a platform for people out there that they would use for crowdfunding?
Yes, so I'll start with the second question, right? So WeFunder is the one we use, right? But WeFunder. So there's also Start Engine. There are a couple of them there, right, in that space now that are fighting for superiority, if you will. So for us, right, you can raise 25, but we've gone over $250,000.
Wow!
Right?
Just from crowdfunding.
Just from crowdfunding.
So as they always say, growth sucks cash. and the technology company grows, and you've obviously got to build it out while you build out your staff as well. What do you do from here? So entrepreneurs go, wow, I raised $250,000. I'm now climbing that ladder. Yeah. How do you think about the next raise of capital to go grow your business?
Yeah, so always been thinking about the next raise, right? So always thinking it's a race, right? And you always have thinking, what's the next milestone? So as we were raising that $250,000, we were thinking, how do we raise, $750,000? And having that raise under our belt, open up, become more attractive to investors, right? Because now we have families, we have clients on the pipeline already. So I think this is like I said, you got to always think about that next raise.
Carl, do you have to prove revenue in order to be able to get a raise? I mean, I know there are some technology companies that have gone public and they never made a nickel. And there are other technology companies that are highly profitable. And we've seen a big beat down in technology this year, especially on the multiples for technology company. But do you actually have to have ARR or MRR for somebody to say, yeah, I'm going to give you some more capital?
Well, it's I think what you just said, right? The market is fluctuating, right? So investors are looking for more that positive revenue. But we've raised money without revenue. Right, so it's possible. Right. It's a matter of how do we tell your story, right? And which field are you in? And when you think about dementia, it's becoming a crisis. So more and more eyes are on this, and more families are suffering from this. So,
Carl, how do you decide as a CEO when or if it's the right time to get a patent? So you develop this technology. Obviously, trademarks are one thing. You can trademark the name, but the patent may be the bigger one as it adds to the multiple of the business. Are you going to go for a patent, or are you just going to say, look, this software will stand on its own and somebody will...
no, you always have to protect yourself, right? So patent. And the good thing is you can do a provisional patent, right? So that's fairly inexpensive compared to the full utility patent that could be in tens of thousands. Dollars. But you can file in that provisional patent. It gives you that coverage, right? That for a year or so, give you that coverage, that protection, while you're getting ready and hopefully raise more money to afford that utility patent.
So for technology entrepreneurs that are watching and hearing you, I love this story. I mean, you're just solving a great need here in America. People hear about this term called churn rate. And once you get that ARR or MRR in a technology business, how much churn rate can you have before the thing is not valuable? Is it 10%? Is it 20%?
Well, I think it depends on the solution. Right. So it varies. So I think it's really, keep your eyes or ears close to the market, close to your space, right, to really understand what that best rate is, right? So I'm not going to give you a rate and say this is it, right? But I think you got to think about talk to your finance guy, right? Talk to your CFO. Have an ear on the ground to understand what is the best time, right? What is the optimal churn rate to be looking at?
We know that technology companies can soar, and we also know they can spike. We've seen this year publicly traded companies like Carvana. We recently saw what's happening in the midst of us right now with Elon Musk and Twitter. How do you know when is the right time to sell a technology company, and what kind of multiple you think you could command when you scale that ladder and you say, I'm ready to exit stage left with Evva Health? Yes. How are you going to know what's the right multiple and what to put it on the market for?
Well, like I say, you always have to think about a few steps ahead, right? So for us, right, we have a number in mind, right? We have a multiple in mind, right?
You do?
Yeah.
So you have a predetermined multiple that says, look, if we get 10 times revenue or we get 15 times revenue, if we can get in that space, we would exit stage left on this business.
That's exactly right? I don't know if I want to give the number, right? But we do have it in our mind, right? And when we're thinking about, when you're looking at the space, the healthcare space, the especially caregiving space, right? There's a multiple that we're going after, and we think
so
we can achieve.
In this case, you're studying the market and saying other technology companies in the healthcare space that have either gone public or they've sold to another private equity company or an aggregator or somebody who bolted them on. Where do those multiples fall? And that's how you as a management team start to assess that we think this is where the exit could be for Evva Health?
Yes, that's exactly right? And dementia, our space we're in, it's not only a U.S. problem.
No, it's a worldwide
problem. It's a global problem, right? So we also have our eyes in other markets, right?
Right.
So European market, Asian market, to provide support for families.
It's interesting you bring that up because every time a business expands, a lot of times entrepreneurs, CEOs, they get sucked deeper down the rabbit hole in terms of running that business. Yeah. How do you deal with the pressure of people who have invested in the company saying, Carl, when am I going to get my return? When am I going to be able to get my capital back?
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's one thing that keeps me up at night. Right? So, I mean, you're putting yourself out there, right? So, as an entrepreneur, you're right there, and you're making promises. And I'm a person. I'm a man of my word, right?
Right.
So
I love that.
So I'm always thinking, how do I do well by my investors, and how do I create the right product, right, the right technology for families who are in dire needs of such help.
So you were an international consultant for a long period of time, especially in this healthcare space. Now you're a growing entrepreneur in a technology company. What's the biggest mistake that you've made so far thinking about this in your entrepreneurial journey?
Well, thinking that I could go faster. Right, so that's one thing where but sometimes you don't realize that you had a big team behind you.
Yeah.
Right, and I think one of the big mistakes is hire the wrong person, right, the wrong resource, right, and that as a small company can really slow you down. So I think with the technology now, with platform for getting folks, there's opportunities to be on a trial with somebody, right, with a resource and see how things goes. Do you have the same work ethic, right? Do you have is that person complementing your skill? Is that person the catalyst for your business? Do a trial before you get into bed with your resources.
Well, this is fantastic. Thanks so much for joining us today on the Roadmap. And folks, check out Evva Health. This is the Atlanta Small Business Network. And you too can figure out how to climb that ladder, scale your business, and maybe one day you can exit stage left. I'm Ted Jenkins, and this is the Roadmap.
Thanks for watching The Roadmap with Ted Jenkins. This has been a JBF Business Media production.